Hello, my reading friends, and welcome to our Literacy Rich Unit Workshop. I am excited to share with you today how I go about planning units that are literacy rich for the school year. So I wanted to kind of start with a big kind of overview of the planning process that kind of goes through my mind as I start this. It seems like a huge task, but if we break it down into small steps, it's really quite manageable. So I hope that this is going to be super useful for you so that you can plan literacy rich units this year too. So I want to start by thinking about planning units as kind of like taking a trip. We've all taken trips before. So when we start our trip, we have to know what our destination is. Before we can do anything else, we need to know what the destination is. And when we equate this to a literacy unit, our destination is where do we want the kids to be at the end of this unit? What do we want them to be able to do and to understand? And so this means first looking at one, the needs of your kids, because each class is different and each month their needs change also. And then also, what are your curriculum standards, benchmarks, things like that you have to complete within the school year, and breaking them down. Okay, what do I need to do in the month of September? What do I need to do in the month of October? And so on and so on. So we start with this number one in our journey is our destination, and the marker that I chose, let's see if you're going to be able to see it here, is our destination. I wish I had a black marker here with me, but I don't, so we're going to go with this. Okay, so step one, our destination. Once we know what we want the kids to be able to do and to understand at the end of the unit, we're ready to go to step two. Step two on our trip is we have to decide what route we're going to take. What's the scenic route? So my family often travels from just outside of St. Louis to Kentucky to see my in-laws. And there are different routes that we can take to get there. There's the super speedy, just the interstate route. We can go the scenic route where we go through horse country. So step number two is you're going to pick your scenic route. And this is what your theme is going to be. So a very common theme at the beginning of the school year is doing a unit on apples. So for our example today, we're going to stick with that one for apples. All right, step number three, the big one. It's the fuel. We need gas in our vehicle to get us where we're going. And in literacy rich units, the fuel that's going to fuel our unit along, can you guess what it is? Books. Books are going to fuel our unit. Whether you're teaching a math lesson or a science lesson or a social studies lesson or a literacy lesson, books are going to fuel, they're going to be our gas to get us where we need to go. All right. Step number four, we have to choose our method of delivery. And this is where I find that many of you get stuck. You kind of know what you need to cover, but you're not sure what the best delivery method is to deliver those standards, those benchmarks that we need to get to. So I'd like to think of step four as our vehicles. So if I'm taking that trip from St. Louis to outside of Louisville, we'll say, there are different vehicles that we can take to get there. All right. But some vehicles are going to work better than other vehicles. So let's look kind of at the components of this literacy block. We've got circle time. I kind of like to think of circle time as the bumper cars. What's going on if you're in a bumper car is it's got to be fast paced, it's fun, it's lively, it's short. That's circle time. All right. Then we've got read-aloud time. Read-Aloud, I kind of like to think of it as that luxury sedan, that Cadillac, where it's super comfortable, it's super rich with really good quality stories. It's a time where you can sit back and relax and just soak in all that vocabulary, do a literacy activity that spins off of this great quality literature we have. You've got that small group time. I could kind of equate this to like a moped or a little motorbike where you can't fit your whole class on the little moped. Okay, this is for a one or two or a very small group that we're going to work with. And the great thing about motorbikes or mopeds is that you can get into all those tight little spaces that maybe a school bus can't, a whole group activity can't, but a small group activity can serve the needs and get into those little nooks and crannies of those really specific needs that small groups of your kids have. All right, so then we have kind of our cargo van. That's kind of what I think of as our large group. This is when we kind of have to serve the masses time. And then we've got our party bus. Can you think of what activity our party bus is? Our party bus is when the kids are going to different centers. They get to walk around, they get to explore, they get to pick and choose what they want to do, kind of like in a party bus. So different vehicles serve different needs. And they're all important. One isn't more important than the other. We kind of need all of them. We need that variety to serve different needs. So once we know the vehicles that we're using, we've got our fuel, we know our destination, we know what route we're taking, we are ready to go on to number 5. We are going to pack the car. We're going to pack the car. And this is the time when we are now selecting the activities to do during our unit. All the things that we're going to put into all of those components. So the things we're going to put in and do during circle time, the things we're going to put into our literacy centers or our dramatic play center or even our math center, the activities that we're going to do within Read-Aloud, all the activities that we're going to do within those vehicles. Okay. Then number 6, we are going to teach and learn. And this is the time that we just enjoy the drive. Okay, this is enjoying the drive where we're teaching all of our things in our unit. We're learning alongside of our kids. We're learning from our kids. Now, along the way, as any good driver knows, we have to stop and assess and monitor along the way. And that's kind of like checking your gauges. So you have to check to make sure you're going the right speed, check to see if you have enough oil, those kinds of things. So while we're teaching and learning, we're also checking those gauges and making sure that the kids are understanding what we're doing and tweaking our teaching based on what our gauges are telling us. All right. And then the last one, once you get to that destination, you need to try the local cuisine. It's a must in whatever place you visit. You have to check out the local cuisine. And this is a time to celebrate the end of your unit, celebrating with for the work that they've done, whether it's cooking something. So in our apple unit, maybe it's making apple butter and biscuits, and it's pulling their work out and having a museum tour or inviting families in to look and see all the things that happened during that unit. It's a time to celebrate. So these are our 8 steps to planning a unit. All right. So let me show you an example. We're going to go with the Apple unit. But first, let me say, as you're thinking about what units that you want to do, in the handout that I have for you, I have a list of popular early childhood themes that you can print out. These aren't ones that you have to do, but these are just very common early childhood themes if you need some inspiration. In there, I also have for you the list, the themes that I am planning for you for this year. I have those all done for you. So if you just want to follow along with what Growing Book by Book is doing. And then I also have in there a blank template for you so you can go through and jot down what themes that you decide that you want to do this year. Okay, so let's go with our Apple theme. I have this sheet for you also in there, just kind of a map kind of a mind map. And this is what I like to use when I'm planning a unit. And I'm just going to walk you through a simple, just 1 week unit on apples. So in the main circle, we're going to put what our topic is. In this case, it's apples. And then I just like to start brainstorming. So in each of these other circles, these are my different vehicles. So for circle time, I like to think about what songs am I going to use, what books, and what activities. Okay. So as I go through here, I might think, oh, you know what? On the Growing Book by Book site, I have All Around the Apple Tree song. That works great for rhyming, and I should have backed up. I should have shown you what I would have gone through of all the skills that we needed to cover first. So that would have been the first step, is making a list of the skills, then going in to the mind map. Okay, so I have that all about me, or all around the apple tree, all around apple tree song. This would be perfect for in here because it's rhyming, and rhyming is one of the things that I'm going to work on during this unit. I might do, you know what, I'm going to do ABC, Apple Pie ABC as one of my books, because by Allison Murray, because that's a great one. It's short, and we can work on alphabet letter recognition, which is another skill that I'm working on this month. So I'm just going to go through, and then I'm going to go, oh, my read aloud. All right, what are my books for read aloud? Oh, you know what? A really good one is to use Apple Farmer Annie by Monica Wellington. And I can work on active listening, because that's one of the skills that I'm working on this unit. So you can see I'm brainstorming. I have my list of objectives, the standards, the benchmarks that I need to meet. And now I'm thinking about what are some books, activities, songs that can go into my unit that will support those things. And I'm just going to continue to go around my circle and mind map. Once you get kind of this brain dump out, then you can go to a more detailed kind of lesson plan template form. And I have one for you in the packet of one I like to use. This just has the literacy components to it, but you can easily add on the back just math and science and social studies. But this thing, you can break it down into daily pieces from your mind map. So the mind map is kind of the place, that brain dump, where I like to get everything out after I know what my objectives are for the unit, and I have my pile of books. And maybe I even a lot of times like to read through the stack of books that I collect first to get some information, and then do my mind map brain dump. From my mind map brain dump, then I can go into my weekly lesson plan template. And so I have all of those things for you in the printable to go along with this workshop. Also inside of the printable handout that I have for you, I have some ideas of different ways that you can make other centers literacy rich. So we know that we don't just have all literacy related type centers in our room for our kiddos to go to. We might have a math station or a science station or a building block station. And there are ways that you can make those literacy rich. For example, in dramatic play areas, they're fantastic. First of all, it's storytelling, and role playing, which is wonderful literacy related in itself. But you can add things like, if you're doing a housekeeping area, you might have notepads where they can make lists. If you're having a restaurant, you might have little of those order forms where they can take orders. So just putting writing materials in there, the kids are going to be creative and come up with ways to practice different literacy things. Adding labels to in your dramatic play area. For example, if you're having housekeeping, you might label the stove or the refrigerator. Different ways that they're getting exposure to print. So I have different ways that you can make other centers literacy rich in there too. Okay. Now, one last thing before we part is this year I am developing literacy rich units, and there's one per month coming out. The first one is coming out this month. It is called My Friends, My Family, and All About Me. It is a 4-week unit. So the first week is All About Me, second week is My Family, third week is My Five Senses, and the fourth week is My Friends. And it's literacy rich. There are circle time activities, circle time songs, nursery rhymes, book lists for each of the different themes, read aloud activity ideas, writing activity ideas, fine motor activity ideas, and so much more. It's over 100 pages. It also includes printables for dramatic play areas. So the dramatic play areas are meant to be stand in place for 2 weeks. So the first 2 weeks, it's a house dramatic play area. The second 2 weeks is a coffee shop, because coffee shop is perfect for the five senses, and it's a place you go to with friends. And so there are lots of different literacy rich printables for that, for you to put into your dramatic play area. So over 100 pages of that you can download and have a unit all set for you. And so each of those will be coming out each month. They can be purchased separately, or you can also purchase them for a limited time as a growing bundle. And what that means is each month when the new one is released, you will get that emailed to you. And so you get it at just a super good rate now while it's a growing bundle. And then eventually, as the new units are added, then the price will grow. So now is the time to get that. And that link is included with you in all of the workshop notes. So if you don't want to do all that planning yourself and you just want it done for you, this is going to be a great opportunity for you. So I am excited for you to start planning your literacy rich units this year. I want you to take some time right now and brainstorm just the themes that you would like to do this year. Maybe they're themes that are required by your school or district, or maybe you just have the freedom to design whatever themes you want. Take a look at the themes and make your list of themes. You don't have to get into all the nitty-gritty planning right now, but plan out your themes today for this upcoming school year, and then jump over to our Facebook group and share with us the first unit that you're going to do. All right, if you have questions, just send them to me at jody@growingbookbybook.com, and I will be happy to help with you. Happy planning.